Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Untold. Of course, it's the show. We have amazing people with amazing story. But of course, first, I'm your host, Abdullah Hindiani.
And I'm your host, Jane Al-Athari. And today we're joined by Ali Alshawwaf, who's both an educator and a cancer survivor. And Abdullah, he's had quite a journey.
He has quite a journey, from the information we have on him before going to the episode. I'm really curious to talk to him. I'm really interested to see his journey, his trials, his triumphs, and to know all about him, right?
Me too. I mean, I've heard that he's a chemistry teacher. He became head of department. He had a very fulfilling life, educating people and also coaching people to kind of be their best selves. Then he was hit with a very hard diagnosis, but somehow managed to overcome it and inspire a lot of people along the way.
His story is very inspirational, and for that, we are going to take a break. So we come back after the break and talk to him. And of course, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here on The Untold. And I do want to welcome Ali Alshawwaf here for being our guest tonight on the program. So welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. And you're both an educator and a cancer survivor. So I wanted to ask you, before your diagnosis, how would you describe your life personally and professionally?
Well, personally, my life was full of movement, ambition, a lot of activities. I used to have an academy where I have trainers and coaches and help a lot of people to overcome obstacles in life. Personally, I'm very active socially with my friends, my family. Then the incident happened and I was diagnosed with cancer.
And of course, before we go into all of that story, you were talking to us before filming. You were saying that you were the head of the department now. So I do want to ask you about, when it comes to teaching specifically, what is it that makes, a very great teacher, a special kind of teacher?
Well, usually people describe the teacher, the one who just deliver information or just teaches students. But the teacher actually who built the character of the student, who built the future of this country. So teacher for me is everything, is the first step to any kind of future.
I agree. That's really wonderfully said, because children are the future.
Correct.
And what they learn in school will guide them throughout the rest of their life.
Exactly.
So what would you say your philosophy was in your years of teaching?
Well, by the years passing in my teaching journey, my philosophy changed. Before it was just, I want to be the best at my field, the best at chemistry. But afterwards it was like, no, I have to help people just reach new levels in their lives, build their character, to be confident, know how to talk to people, how to communicate, how to live their life, because teaching and information is only like a fuel to our journey and how we deal with life. So that's my philosophy.
It is. And speaking about teaching itself, especially when it comes to very complex, subjects that you teach, what would you say are some things that are challenging, right, within teaching? Because your role as a teacher is like you are both a parent, a role model, a guidance, a counselor, all of those combined for the students. So what would you say are some things that are a little bit challenging when it comes to teaching as a role?
Maybe the main challenges is keeping updated with what's going on around us and how we can adapt to the changes, especially like the parents and the new generation. They are evolving in a very scary, fast way.
Yeah.
So we have to follow up and keep adapting to changes. Otherwise, we'll be left out. And the people we teach, or the students, they will overcome us. They will always be better than us. So we have to keep updating ourselves and adapting to changes around us.
I really love your approach to things. I think more teachers should be like that. Even how you said that you're a chemistry teacher, but over time your philosophy came to be to guide students in a different way.
Yeah.
So what triggered that? Because most people, especially if they're teaching science, they're not thinking about how the student is as a whole. They're focusing mainly on the actual subject.
You reminded me of a year where I used to teach students the chemistry Olympics or Olympiad, we call it in Arabic. What happened was they are very intelligent geniuses. Their grades not less than 98%.
MashaAllah.
But they don't know what to do, like what's the next step. So I started guiding them. I started coaching them and their families. Most of the students are doctors now. And because of the conversation between us, what happens throughout the coaching sessions, their parents accepted them to study medicine, to go outside Kuwait, to approach or to follow their dreams. Because what happens in the society, like, no, you cannot go outside, you don't have to study this. They want to control their children because they see them young, even though I think our parents look at us like, oh, still young.
I mean, still to this day, I think my parents look at me as a baby, even though I'm an adult, so.
Just drink water before you go out, wear your stuff like this. So when I started moving in a different way and approaching teaching in a different way, I began to see it in their eyes. So I started following my dream on this, and I started writing books about this subject and also train people how to become like this.
MashaAllah. And now you've also mentioned, two very distinctive labels, coaching and teaching. So I do want to ask you, do you think there's a difference between being a coach and being an educator, or do those two, go alongside each other?
Well, if they are like in a parallel way, but if you synchronize them together, it will become like a very powerful, it's like a weapon, but I'm not sure if I can say that. But it's very powerful that it changes lives of people. Like even throughout the journey of my treatment, I started using this on myself, on my family, even on the medical team. So it helped me a lot. Like I want to mention when I went to, after the surgery, I was in the ICU. They told me, you will be in the ICU for 2 weeks. I started using these abilities and talents on myself and on the staff. And luckily, I left the ICU after 5 days.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah. I think if we synchronize them together, they will be very powerful. Coaching is a matter of asking the right questions at the right time, guiding you based on your abilities, on your talents, on your level, not on mine. So that's coaching. Education, I just give you or feed you information. Yeah. So that's the difference between them.
I mean, it's amazing that you were able to merge both worlds to create what you do. So I do want to ask you, how do you think your students looked at you as a teacher?
That's a very powerful question because it reaches inside of me. I really love my students. They are my sons. They are my friends. They are the companions in my journey. So when I went for my treatment, they reached out to me. They started calling me. They sent me flowers. They sent me gifts. They wanted to see me. So most of them are just calling me like father. You're like our father. And they started inviting me to their graduation. I went before my surgery. They invited me to be like a speaker to them. And throughout the speech, I started to become overwhelmed and somehow crying. So the crowd started crying. So I flipped out to become like a comedian on the stage, just to lift up the spirits of them. So yeah, they have a big impact on me, and I'm sure I have a big impact on them.
It is, and I think for a lot of us students, we always remember, our most fondest teachers with a lot of great memories. And I'm so happy to hear that they were there supporting you along your path, which leads into my next question is that has your role in education, in coaching, in teaching, has all of those influences how had, you know, s- tackled on, your disease, your illness, and your hardship, how you faced it, and how you gone through it.
Yeah. I want to tell you like a short story of what happened. In Ramadan of 2025, I started feeling like it's hard to swallow. So it's okay. It's just like maybe an allergy or something. And I ignored it. But after the third week of Ramadan, Layali al-Qadr, in our Duwaniya, every Ramadan we bring the blood bank of Kuwait, so we donate blood.
Oh, wow.
And I'm the first one in all of the years to go and donate. So when they tested me, they told me you cannot donate, your blood has problems. So I went and did the blood tests, and they told me there is a serious problem, you have to go and check. So I went, and they told me, yes, you do have something and it's serious. And after some tests, they told me I have a malignant cancer, al-khabith. So I was like, alhamdulillah, it's written. What shall I do? Shall I cry or shout or scream? My mother was with me. So I have to be strong. So I used up all my storage of information, the energy, whatever I built up all of the years of helping people. So I say, okay, I will use this. And I started using it. And until I reached a point where I'm empty. I finished everything. So I started looking for a companion. And I called it Rafiq al-Rahla, or the journey companion. And I'm writing it in my memoir about the cancer journey. And they are with me all the time, 24/7. And not all of people can do this. Like, I call anytime, okay, let's go out and eat. Okay, let's go. Let's go to a movie. Okay, let's go. Let's go for a coffee. And I just go and sit, and I don't talk. I just like look at them like this. And a lot of people who were around me, surrounding me, they disappeared. Oof. And I was like, okay, Ali, you know now who is the people truthfully will be with you and who are there just to benefit. And it's okay to give people. I don't mind it. And I wasn't like, oh my God, they left me. Oh, I feel alone. No, I was like, okay, alhamdulillah. Now I know who I can rely on and who the people will call me just to take whatever they want. So I was like, alhamdulillah, everything is good. So I was full, then empty, then I'm full again. And alhamdulillah, I'm here.
Alhamdulillah. And I think, those kind of moments, like you said, it truly shows you who's going to be here for you and who's only been here for some benefits, some, amusements or whatever. It shows you, like we say in Kuwaiti, ma'dan, of the people around you, like who they are, truly are. And we are going to go, on the second part of the interview, much deeper on your journey. But before we get into all of that, we are going to take a very quick break.
And we're back from that short break. And Ali, we were just talking about how you first discovered your diagnosis. And I think I'm just taken aback by how it happened in such a normal moment. You're like, oh, I can't swallow. You went to do a normal thing, donate blood, and then you were told you couldn't. And that led from one thing to another to you finding out you had a cancer diagnosis. And you mentioned the importance of support system and also learning about who are the people you can really rely on in life, because some people disappeared. But you also mentioned having to be strong because your mom was with you. And I know that for a fact, mothers take things the hardest when it comes to their children. It doesn't matter of the age. My aunt, her son had cancer. And I think she was more emotional about it than he was. I think mothers just, they can't imagine their children going through any kind of hardship,
Exactly.
especially something that's out of their control. But you have a very mature approach where you're like, it's written, it is what it is, and you just have to kind of find a way to cope with it. And you mentioned being both empty and full depending on the cycle of what you were feeling. You were able to rely on your strategies of coaching, of teaching, to kind of help you navigate the situation. But how were you able to navigate in times when you were feeling empty?
Well, it was very difficult, especially in the hardest days when I have the chemotherapy attached to me, and it has to be attached like for 48 hours. Then they will remove it. So when I have this, any change of the atmosphere, like cold, heat, I start to feel in a lot of pain. I cannot eat, I cannot drink. Even speaking, where after the surgery I lost my voice for 2 months, and that was the most devastating, because it's the simplest thing, just to communicate, to call my children or just to speak to someone. Where I lost my voice, it was like, okay, the worst thing happened, even worse than the cancer, because when they diagnosed me and they told me there is a cure, and alhamdulillah, in Kuwait we are ahead of a lot of countries, even the Western countries. We have the most advanced technologies, the most advanced medicine. We are ahead of a lot of countries. So I was like, alhamdulillah, everything is set and I'm taken care of. But when I lost my voice and they told me there is no cure, it's just in the hand of Allah, and whatever happens, just happens. Then I was like, okay, the worst thing happened, because it's my everything. I teach people, I speak to people, I guide people, I help people. So I was like, okay, now what should I do? I cannot even cry out loud.
Oh.
I cannot laugh. There is literally no voice. My vocal cords are paralyzed. And they told me this is permanent. Then I was like praying, and the journey companion sent me a message. We found a doctor. He's very talented in Kuwait. I was in London for the surgery. And they told me, okay, we found someone. Try your luck. I finished praying. I sent him a message throughout Instagram. So, okay, who's gonna see? He's a doctor and he's very busy. Then 2 minutes he replied. He told me, I need to speak to you. I told him, I have no voice. They said, it's okay, just note to me, I will open like video call. So he called me. He told me, don't do any kind of surgery to your vocal cords. Just come back to Kuwait, I'll take care of you. So when I came here, he told me, okay, Ali, I checked your vocal cords. They're 100% paralyzed. Okay, I'll give you some kind of medicine and hopefully it will come back. Then after 1 month, he checked up again, 100% paralyzed. After 2 months, my voice started to come back. Even if it's 50%, I'm okay with it. I'm very happy. And in the hardest days, I was like, okay, what's the worst thing could happen? I'm at the bottom of everything. So I cannot go even further down, so I have to go up. So I started going up.
I think that's always a great mentality to have, right? So whatever you're facing, you always look up, right?
Exactly.
You know, this is me now. Only way is to go is up, moving forward. You know, no back steps, no going behind. It's looking forward. And I am glad that you got, you know, reached to that doctor, and the doctor answered you. And mashallah, like you say, the doctors here in Kuwait are amazing, right? We have a lot of, you know, great thinkers, a lot of great minds. So I do, you know, feel very proud about hearing that story. But this also leads me to my next question, is that, you know, as someone who has gone through procedures, who has gone through surgeries, I know that you said the first time you got the diagnosis, you had to put on a brave face. But, you know, when you're alone, right, when you're facing with all of those, how do you prepare yourself? How do you overcome these, a lot of mental hurdles?
I always say to people, when you fall down, fall on your back. So your face will go up, will look up, and you can go up again. I used to take a lot of time by myself. That what helped me. I mean, when I go to my cousins, my friends, a lot of people I know, their look breaks me because they look up to me. So I started to stay alone by myself. I stayed away from people. I started to read more, do the things that I like until I full of them. So I started doing new things. I wrote 3 books. One of the books called The Chemo Chair, which is how to help the people who is ill in their chemo chair to pass time. Like crosswords puzzles, coloring pages, some like mental puzzles, just to kill the time. Because when I go and have my chemotherapy session, I'm having, by the way, the 2nd chemotherapy tomorrow.
Oh, mashallah.
It is the 4th cycle, and that's the 2nd cycle of the 4th cycle. It's like, for me, it's the minimum time, 4 hours in the chemo chair. So they usually give me some sedatives to put me to sleep. And sometimes I tell them, just no, let me just help the people around me. Because like there's 4 beds in the room. So when they come, like I created some kind of ritual. Anyone who comes to the room, we all have to greet him. Assalamu alaikum, hello wallah, hayyak Allah, salamat, ma tshuf shar. And we don't talk about what's going on with you. It's just greeting him and supporting each other. So one time it happened, an Indian guy came and his family was crying so hard. And he was like in another space, just looking at them. So I told them, please, let me talk to you outside. And I have my chemotherapy attached to me. So I went outside and I told them, he just needs your support by being strong. Yeah. Because he is taking care of you. So you are broken now and crying. He's thinking, what can I do for them? Not what can I do for myself. And that's what happened to me. What can I do for my children? What can I do for my family? For the people who look up to me? For the people who are waiting for me to solve their problems? What can I do? Okay, let me just hold up and show them that I'm fine. Or I'm not fine. I'm in a lot of pain. I take a lot of painkillers. Any little thing, like maybe a sip of cold water, could just trigger a lot of pain in my throat. But they don't have to know. I don't show them that. Sometimes I feel like crying and it shows on my face. But when they ask me, I tell them, oh, I miss the old days where I can eat like burgers and steaks. I take it to another way. So they stopped and they went back to him and told him, what would you like to eat? And I told him, just say something they cannot do. Just to bring like laughter in the room. So he really asked for something like an Indian kind of food that they cannot find in Kuwait. And his daughter said, okay, I know someone, she can cook it for you. And they were like busy, khalas, they went. And later, after 3 hours, they came back with food for him. So he was like, are you a magician? I said, no, I'm just taking my chemo with you. I understand you more than they do. Even the doctors, even they tell me that like, we understand you. They don't.
Yeah, of course.
What I'm going through, it's very hard to describe. We understand each other as patients, but sometimes we don't. we need like to take care of each other, just to show that there is some goodness in this life.
That's really wonderful. And I love that you were able to also bring that kind of joy to the other patients suffering with you. And you're right, a lot of the time people you love, they don't mean to, but because you can see the pain on their face also, they're not thinking that it affects you and you have to be strong for them when they should be strong for you because you're going through so much.
Exactly.
But it's part of human nature, isn't it? Like we don't mean to be this way, but we all feel our emotions in certain ways. So is this why you chose to kind of share your experience publicly, to kind of educate people more on this situation?
I have planned this since day one, and it was in my intentions that I want to bring out everything I went through to public. My mother, whenever she sees me broken down, she just tells me, Ali, people need you. People need to know your story. Stay strong. People need to know what you went through. You can inspire others. And a lot of people reached out to me, but no, KTV is my country. It deserves my soul. So when KTV reached out to me, I accepted right away.
Well, honestly, we are the ones who are proud to have you here and glad to have you here. You know, it's been our utmost pleasure.
Habibi Abdullah, thank you.
All thanks goes to you.
Allah yahfazek.
Now, also because we are reaching, our time at the end of the episode, so I do want to leave you with one last question. Is that if you were to take, the biggest, I would say, moral lesson out of all your journey so far, and also towards the, the future, what do you say that is?
Patience.
Patience.
Patience, patience. Things cannot come very fast or the way we want. I'm saying this to myself before others, because a lot of days I'm crying for a burger. I want to eat the way I was eating before. I want to go out to do the things that I like, to be with the favorite people, my friends, my companions, but I can't. So I have to accept the fact things needs time. So patience, patience, patience.
Yeah, I think that's a great message to wrap the conversation on, is that a lot of people, don't know the value of time, right? So a lot of people really need to hear this message, and I'm really glad that, we gave you the platform today to share your message. You're honestly very inspirational to a lot of people, I'd imagine, to me as well, personally, from talking to you. So again, thank you very much for coming here on The Untold.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you so much.
I think it was our pleasure. We enjoyed this talk so much, and you really, really were able to motivate, I think, not just us, but the audience. And, hopefully with time, inshallah, you'll get your burger.
Inshallah. Thank you, Lajami. Thank you, guys.
And with that, we are going to take a quick break. And we're back from that short break. And Abdullah, speaking to Ali was so inspirational, so motivating, and so emotional. I was really overcome by how he kind of went through his journey. First, that he was such an amazing teacher to his students, that he learned how to use those lessons and his coaching lessons to kind of tackle and battle cancer as well.
Yeah, that's very right, Lajane. His story is very inspirational. He's a great speaker. I'm so happy that he has a lot of support. He has a lot, like he said, the community that he built, camaraderie. And, talking to him was amazing. And he has tomorrow a chemo session, right? We do wish him all of the best for that on tomorrow. It was honestly very great talking to him.
It really was. And I loved hearing how he inspired others who are doing chemo with him and is able to make a difference in the lives of everyone who is experiencing this battle. And I really hope a lot of people learned about how you can kind of overcome these kind of things and still have the best outcome for yourself and the best belief in God and your journey.
It is, very well said, Lajane. With that, I think we can wrap the episode now. For The Untold, that's it from us here. Until next episode, stay tuned.